I've recently been talking about making my own knitting needles and how I do it. And this option is for people who want to try big needle knitting. These are size 70, but they don't want to pay $50 or $60 or $70 for someone to make them a wooden set of needles this size. Those are prices I'm getting from Etsy, and frankly I think they're a little high because I know how much it costs to buy the wood, and it does take a lot of time to carve them, so I'm not saying it isn't worth it. But if you're not sure if you want to knit on big needles, it's a big investment right off the bat. And the other thing is you have to buy yarn or roving that is going to make a correct gauge. So a pound of roving can be $20. For a pound, it's going to give you like 3 rows. So it's a big expense, and this is a way to try it out without making that investment right away. So first of all, as far as the roving and the yarn, what you can think about is using worsted weight yarn in multiple strands, which I've done so far up to about 5 or 6 strands on a regular basis. And it does work. It can get a little tangled at times, but it works. The other thing you can do, if you check some of my videos on luciding, you can take like a 3-strand yarn, lucid it very loosely, and basically double the bulk of the yarn. So there are other ways other than buying a pound of roving, but it depends on the look that you want and the project you're looking at. These are paper mache. Now, this is so easy, cheap, and simple. CVS or grocery store, you need newspaper, which you probably get in your mailbox anyway for free or with the paper. You need flour and water and paper towels. These are based on the insert cardboard of a roll of paper towels. Now these are size 70, and I had to cut the tube and then size it and place Scotch tape on it to hold the tube in place. And then to make paper mache glue, you use equal amounts of flour and water. So for example, to make these, I made 4 double points in size 70. I used not very much newspaper actually, but I used 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of water, and it was fairly thick. I mixed it up with a spoon and it makes a glue, and yet I ended up adding more water. But you have to be careful how wet you get it. Now this one you can see is just slightly oval, and that's because don't buy brawny paper towels to do this, because the inner core on brawny is really a lightweight cardboard, and so under the weight of the wet paper, this kind of wasn't holding its shape very well. The other ones I have here are made with Stop and Shop Pea Pod cheap paper towel, and what I did was just carefully rip all the paper towel off and keep it in a stack and use the tube on the inside. Now, so most people know how to do basic paper mache. You dip paper strips into the glue, wrap them around your foundation, which in this case is the paper towel core. I took copy paper and made little triangle cones for the ends, and this one is dry and hard. And to complete them, I'm going to need to sand this down with like a medium sandpaper, and then you can either I'm going to take, I buy Elmer's glue by the gallon, which is right there on the floor, along with some more sandpaper. And this is Elmer's all-purpose. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that in a dish, and I'm going to water it down a little bit and use it as like an acrylic coating after these are completely dry. So between the light sanding and the glue coating, they should be smooth as silk to use. Now, if I want to, I can reshape the tips But these have dried stiff enough where this is going to knit. This is going to knit just the way it is. Excuse me. So you figure if you did buy a school-size bottle of Elmer's glue, it's like $4 at the most. The newspaper is free. Paper towels at CVS are like $1.75 for 2 cheap rolls. You could only make the points on one side and use the other side and put a flat piece of round piece of paper there and make single points. Very simple to